Hello everyone, welcome to Loddon Valley. It is the fourth and final BCB quarter-final playoff game. It is the Aldermore Reading Rockets against the Derby Trailblazers, and for the winner, it's a meeting with the Milton Keynes Breakers in the last four. Warm afternoon to everyone watching on the BCB YouTube channel. John Hobbs and Charlie Haynes. Charlie, these two teams, of course, met fairly recently. It was the game that Reading captured the BCB Championship on Derby's home floor, and Derby will look to extract revenge and eliminate Reading in the quarterfinals here today.
Absolutely. Hello, John. Hello, everybody watching at home. A very exciting game last time out between Rockets and the Trailblazers. As you said, John, it's only a 1-point difference between the two sides. So certainly a game that is ready to be a close matchup, one that's going to be very exciting for the fans, not just in Loddon Valley, but for all of you watching at home as well.
Of course, the other semi-final will pit the Newcastle Knights against the City of Birmingham Rockets. And of course, if Reading do progress past this game, then their semi-final battle will be held at Rivermead, not here at Loddon Valley. So lots to play for both teams. Of course, Derby will love to get a semi-final spot. They have had an injury-riddled season, but have done well to get to this stage. So before the game takes place and before we get to the team lineups, we caught up with Reading Rockets head coach Samet Nurizadeh.
What's the feelings going into this game?
The feeling is that you are not an underdog anymore, so you are expected to win, but this team is full of ex-BBL players, ex-SLB players, so we have to be at our best if we take it any lightly, so they are going to punish us.
You mentioned the strength of your opposition today, a team, as you said, full of former BBL players and lots of experienced veterans. How do you prepare for a team as strong as Derby?
You have to play hard. You have to play extremely hard, on your toes all the time, and that's how you don't lose the battle, one-on-one battle. That's how you win. That's how you win if you play that hard.
And of course, home advantage in the first playoff game for us as a club here at the BCB in the playoffs. What do you think home advantage is going to bring to help the guys through such an important game?
It can play against you as well, but I appreciate that we are at home in front of our home support, and our support has been amazing the whole year. Hopefully it gives us enough spirit, enough power for us to overcome this team.
And just to finish, what should the fans be expecting in the playoff game today?
Good game, expecting a good game. Always is. Loddon Valley never disappoints with that. Always a good game.
Coach Samet, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck with the game.
Thank you.
Head coach Samet Nurizadeh there before today's game, and he was very confident, in very confident mood as you were speaking to him, Charlie. But Kyle Henderson, his opposite number, also in good spirits. There's a lot of confidence in this Derby team. As we have a look at the two rosters, and let's start with the Derby Trailblazers, and they'll start with Malcolm Smith on the bench today. However, a lot of firepower with Mo Walker, Raheem May Thompson, and of course, Jai Pathamaraja.
I mean, you even heard Coach Nurizadeh talk about it in that interview, John, the strength of Derby, veteran, high-level players that have had experience at not just BCB, NBL level, but also BBL, now SLB level as well. So a very strong squad. The fact you're able to have a player as strong as Malcolm Smith off the bench shows how good a squad the Rockets are going up against today.
They'll be starting with Mo Walker, Charlie Brown, Raheem May Thompson, Connor Washington, and Jai Pathamaraja. As we head over to the home side, the Aldermore Reading Rockets, and they've got to the title without really any major injury concerns, which is really good to have, and with players as Victor Olorera, Malik Bryant, who usually has been coming off the bench in the mid part of the season, and of course Cooper Creek, who quietly goes about his business. This is a very strong Reading Rockets roster. And any players that have jumped out to you this season?
Well, I think that the strength of Rockets is in the depth. We've said in multiple games, John, how any player can kick off at any point in time. I do think the spark, the player that I'm really excited to watch when it comes to crunch time, such as playoff basketball, is Victor Olorarian. He's a showtime player. He's a player that loves a home crowd, loves a little bit of a competitive matchup with a bit of extra grit and a bit of extra fight. So as strong as both sides are, I'm excited to see Olorarian's impact from the start of the game.
And they'll be starting with Jax Borknight, Zane Porman, Victor Olorarian, Tyler Sangu, and Cooper Creek. Pretty much the same starting five we've seen all season long. As we just get those starting fives confirmed for today's game. Jax Borknight, Zane Porman, Victor Olorarian, Tyler Sangu, Cooper Creek for the Rockets. Mo Walker, Charlie Brown, Raheem May Thompson, Connor Washington, and Jai Pathmarajan for the Derby Trailblazers. Our crew chief today is Ben Silvagi, and umpires Daniel Cox and Ethan Phillipson. As we get set for the fourth and final quarter-final. 3 quarter-finals taking place yesterday. The Newcastle Knights beating the Yorkshire Dragons. Milton Keynes Breakers getting the job done over the what was the informed Nottingham Hoods after a period of overtime. And then the City of Birmingham Rockets with a hard-fought victory over the London Cavaliers. As you see, another near sellout crowd inside the Valley here in the heart of Berkshire today. And if you're not here, we thank you so very, very much for joining us on the BCB YouTube channel. And obviously we have one semi-final confirmed. That is the Newcastle Knights against the City of Birmingham Rockets. That should be an absolutely fascinating game. Of course, the last time the Rockets went to Newcastle, they got a 106-101 victory, a game that's almost essentially sealed the title for the Rockets. Of course, the Rockets had a lot of work to do, and they performed that admirably, but the Rockets, or the Birmingham Rockets, certainly did them a big favor on that day.
Absolutely. I think, again, we allude to it all the time. The strength of the league, every team with powerhouse players, big scores such as that result you're talking about with 2 teams in triple digits. And of course, it only gets more amplified around playoff basketball. The energy in the room just feels a little bit different for this one, John.
Well, if the Rockets do progress to the semi-finals, then their game next week will be held at Rivermead, a little 5-minute drive down from here at Loddon Valley. So Rockets will want to get to that point, but the Trailblazers looking for revenge from a couple of weeks back in the penultimate league game of the season. Rockets in black, Trailblazers in blue, and we are underway here at the Valley. Porman matched up with Charlie Brown. Turnaround jumper is good for Porman.
A nice way to get those points on the board. We know Rockets love a Porman post up, and that's what's gotten the first points of the game.
Here is Brown, traditional pass first point guard. Dumps it to Mo Walker under the basket, and that's easy for Mo Walker.
We look to see a size mismatch for the Rockets, but different for the Derby Trailblazers. Put the ball in the experienced hands of Mo Walker's, and good thing will happen.
Averages just under 16 points and 9 rebounds a game. Mo Walker, a couple of double-doubles this season, as pass from Borknight was risky. And away comes the Trailblazers. Pathmarajan has it. Walker thought about the 3, can shoot them from distance. Pathmarajan will put up a 3, that's off the back iron. And Brown nearly got the rebound over Porman and Creek.
Pathmarajan definitely confident to shoot the ball from outside the arc. A very smooth, silky player, and someone that could be an exciting player in this game.
Someone whose responsibility is certainly doubled in this BCB season. Borknight, 4 to shoot. Porman a 3, and that's short.
Lovely pass from Bok Knight to skip the ball to the opposite side.
And Charlie Brown with the loose ball, and here he is on the ball. Noise is so deafening here. Me and Charlie can barely hear each other at the moment. Here is Walker to Pathmarajan with 7 to shoot. There is Walker, a 3.
And you said it, John. Mo Walker can shoot from outside the arc. Nurazade not happy. He's been left open, and Walker celebrates with the Derby fans on his way down.
5 to 2 in favor of the Trailblazers. Here is Olarerin, nearly lost the handle. Ball is loose. There is Portman, the touch pass to Nasangu, and Ty Nasangu will head to the line.
Really good fake from Ty Nasangu to get Mo Walker to jump. That's what created the contact for the 2 shots. But special shout out to that little touch pass from Zane Portman. The ball had barely even made contact with his fingertips, and he quickly flicked it down low to the open Nasangu.
Of course, it's now at the stage where it's win or go home. So every game in these quarterfinals matters. Of course, yesterday, the end of the season was met by the Cavaliers, the Hoods, and the Dragons. As Nasangu makes the first, makes them both. And it's 5 to 4 early doors here in favor of Derby. Pathmarajan. Here is Washington. Pathmarajan getting to the foul line, the extra pass. Here is Pathmarajan with 7 to shoot. Bit of a mismatch there. Charlie Brown, a 3, and that's off. And Washington, well, the ball did, well, we're going to have a conversation here. I thought the ball did hit the rim there, actually, from Brown. And apparently it didn't.
Yeah, it must have just been a bit too long. A good rebound, though, from Connor Washington to reset the play. But, yeah, Derby not aware that the shot clock hadn't reset.
Well, I think they thought that 3 hit the rim, but either way, they get a turnover out of it. Here is Brown. And May Thompson just about collects it, but he was nearly going out of bounds, and it'll stay a Derby possession anyway. Last touch by Portman.
Now a moment for the tactical coaches to enjoy this playoff. What will Derby come up with from the baseline?
And May Thompson will go to the foul line as Cooper Creek contested, but he got the wrist of May Thompson. And Raheem May Thompson will head to the line. Of course, Raheem May Thompson, he's been around the block, hasn't he, Charlie? We managed to catch up with him before the game, and just a very positive person, loves the game, and yeah, as said, he's a veteran. He's had BBL, SLB, well, now SLB experience, and he's been with Derby for many, many years. You know, what kind of player does Raheem May Thompson bring to the table?
Raheem May Thompson, for me, and I'm fortunate enough I got to work with Raheem a little bit when his Worcester Wolves BBL days, and he's a player that shoots the ball really well, but it's also just so smart, intelligent player, and can play in multiple positions.
Bok Knight finds Nasangu, who gets his pocket picked by Brown. Here is Pathmarajan. There is May Thompson on the catch and shoot, short with the 3. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by Thompson, by Portman, as Mo Walker was going for the rebound. As get our first substitutions of the game as Yusuf Salih comes in, and Bok Knight heads to the bench. Pathmarajan. Walker double-teamed and loses the ball. Probably not the best option for Pathmarajan to use Walker when he was double-teamed. There is Salih on the pull-up.
And that's what Yusuf Salih does. He gets to his spot and he makes big shots. He is an out-and-out scorer, and that is a great way to make instant impact off the bench.
7 to 6 to the visitors. Washington. Washington still has it and loses the ball, but Derby will keep it as Cooper Creek couldn't hang on.
And you can see Derby going a lot to that pick and roll with Washington with the ball and May Thompson as the screener, so looking to put Cooper Creek in lots of pick and roll situations.
Here is Brown. Washington wide open, a corner three, rattles it in.
That's a really nice offensive set from Derby. 2 in screens to open up the corners for their three-point shooters, and Charlie Brown finds Connor Washington.
Connor Washington, a great three-point shooter, 41% for the season. Here is Portman to Olarerin, sets himself and buries a three at the other end.
A big shot from Victor Olarerin. I'm enjoying seeing the confidence since Yusuf Salih's entered the game. That's 2 back-to-back makes the Rockets. Trailblazers don't look like they're missing any confidence whatsoever. A good start to the first quarter.
Pathmarajar driving at Olarerin, gets the step, doesn't get the finish though. Here is Portman. Portman, Nasangu off the glass, no good, gets his own rebound and sticks it in.
Great defense, first of all, from Nasangu down on the other end of the court, and sprints down the court. Yes, he misses, but gets his own rebound, puts it back in. Rockets lead.
First field goal for Nasangu, who has 4 points. Washington. Rockets now up by 1, as you mentioned, Charlie. Here is Brown, whose pass was intercepted but reclaimed. Pathmarajar, as the shot clock was winding down. Ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Rockets possession. Smart move from Yusuf Salih, bumping it off Mo Walker as he was going out of bounds.
Yeah, very smart players. You can see someone about to fall out of bounds. Just make sure they get the last touch as soon as their feet land off the court.
Olarerin. Olarerin surveying. Here is Portman. There was a lane there for Portman, decided not to use it. Olarerin puts the moves on Pathmarajar. Fading away, Pathmarajar with a hand in his face. Good defense from Jai Pathmarajar, and that's a hard foul for Yusuf Salih on May Thompson. Assistant coach Jake Chapman wanting an unsportsmanlike. Well, he's got a little bit of a case, but with other players around, that would have been a harsh one.
Yeah, and it just depends on what type of contact was Salih trying to make. You have to make it look like a play on the ball. So typically, you teach your players to foul with your chest or your back when you're trying to foul on purpose. What you don't want to do is wrap your arm across their body, because then it really is intentional.
Olarerin comes out. Malik Bryant checks in for the first time. Here is Mo Walker, backing down Portman. Walker on the spin, gets it to go. Will that count? It will. There was a bit of a delay there, but Mo Walker's hook will count. And Mo Walker will go to the line for a bonus.
And I was about to say, I was really impressed with the defense of Zane Portman, but it looks like the referees just decided that there was a bit of body contact that wasn't allowed as Mo Walker rose up to take his shot.
Rockets with 1 foul to give, 6 minutes to play, or 6 minutes played in this first quarter. Here is Portman. Portman, great steal there from Brown, intercepting the pass. And now Portman fouls Brown. And now that's a 4th team foul for the Rockets.
Yeah, and a second personal one on Portman, so he's going to have to come out here. And although he was trying to stop the fast break, I'm not sure that picking up your second personal foul this early in the game intentionally is a smart thing to do.
As Malcolm Smith checks in for the Trailblazers and Raheem May Thompson comes out.
For me, John, just watching the Rockets' last few offenses, I'm loving when they're shooting with confidence, but there's a few too many times they've tried to thread the needle on some of these inside passes. Derby, meanwhile, just playing a little bit more bully ball inside.
Mo Walker, a long 2 is short. Brown gets the offensive board. Pathmarajar too strong with his attempt. Malcolm Smith fading away, no good. Nasangu stops the Derby offense. There is Borknight. It's been a very chippy first quarter thus far. Creek, 3 is no good. And the ball ends up in Walker's hands. There is Smith all alone, and Salih fouls Malcolm Smith.
Yeah, really good hustle from Yusuf Salih to get back, but must have just got a little bit too much of the arm. You can see on your screens, he just clipped him on the left arm. Didn't get all ball, so a whistle for him, and it is team foul trouble for Reading Rockets with 3 minutes 11 left. Derby not only have the lead, but they can be smart with some fouls here, make it really hard for Rockets to score.
And that's what I was going to just ask you as well, with Reading in the penalty and Derby with just one team foul. Kyle Henderson can really utilize that and tell his players, you've got to attack this Rockets team now for the next 3 minutes.
Absolutely, and it also means that Derby can stop transitions and they can prevent matchups by fouling to try and switch matchups back. So these fouls, if used wisely by Derby, could actually be a really big help to extending this lead. Meanwhile, Rockets have to be very cautious with how they defend now to avoid fouling.
However, you've got to make your free throws. Malcolm Smith only 61% for the season, missed the second. Here is Bryant. Bryant, good defense from Pathmarajan, got a hand on it. And Derby come away with the ball again. And Borknight fouls Pathmarajan, so he will go to the line. There was almost a sense there that Borknight nearly fouled him going to the basket, and then when he was going up for that layup, fouled him there.
Yeah, and I was just watching the Rockets bench, assistant coach Ben Fisher just pointing at the scoreboard, looking at Jack Borknight, saying, Borknight, we don't have any fouls to give, so we need you to try and stay in front there. I've been really impressed with the way Derby have defended in this first quarter, John. Really good 1v1 defense, managing their matchups well, knowing who the shooters are and which ones they can give a little bit more space to. And look at how many turnovers they forced Reading to have in and around the basket. It's about 4 turnovers for Reading already, and that's just through good, solid team defense and good, smart 1v1 defense.
Here is Sally, Nsangu, Bryant. Borknight, no hesitation, but short with the 3. And it'll be a Derby possession. And Reading at the moment, now 4 of 10 from the field with 2:30 to play in the first.
Yeah, I'd like to see them be confident to continue shooting when they're open. It's something they've been able to do all season long, but at the minute, those forced passes are what giving Derby more attempts.
Brown inside to Smith. Smith doesn't get that to fall. Mo Walker there cleans it up. And a timeout called by Samit Nurizadeh. This has been a fantastic start by the Trailblazers. They lead by 7 with 2:12 to play here in the first period.
Excellent, excellent start from the Derby Trailblazers. 18 points on the board, but multiple field goal attempts, about 14 or 15 attempts for them. Almost what Rockets have and a half is how many attempts Derby have had. Reading Rockets just not quite at the races yet in terms of their shooting. 1 of 4 from outside the arc and 3 of 6 from inside. But Derby Trailblazers around the rim just been dominating inside and making it really hard to keep them off the glass. And when Rockets have collapsed, shooters have been willing to shoot from outside of the arc. Connor Washington, 1 of 1. Charlie Brown and Pathmarajan yet to score, but good looks.
Exactly, and you've mentioned about how hungry Derby have been, and one key statistic at the moment is on the offensive glass, with Derby out-rebounding Reading on the offensive side 6-1. They have only got 2 second chance points, we just saw it there, but they're getting more possessions, and as you mentioned, 5 more field goal attempts right now than Reading, who have been a little lackadaisical on the glass.
Yeah, and even to top that stat up, John, it's 6 offensive for Derby versus 5 defensive for the Rockets. So not only are they doing better on the offensive board comparison, but they're actually stopping Reading from getting chances to rebound the ball and kick the ball ahead because they're having multiple opportunities to put the ball in the basket. Wouldn't be surprised to see Reading switch their defense up here and put more help inside.
And Chamberlain into the game for the first time for the Rockets. Here is Borknight. Chamberlain, Sally, 5 to shoot. Yusuf Sally pulls up, no good. Mo Walker, his 3rd rebound. Pathmarajan. Walker left alone again. This time it's off to the right. Bryant Here is Nsangu. Nsangu gets it to go over Walker.
Yeah, and good job from Mo Walker not to foul, because he is the one that picked up the first foul. They don't want him picking up a second one. Everyone else has plenty of opportunities to commit a foul and try and slow Rockets down.
And no doubt Reading will look to go to Nsangu inside and try and exploit that. Here is Brown with 4 to shoot. Charlie Brown's got to do something, throws it up, and that's no good, and it's rebounded by Nsangu.
But Rockets have to convert now. 1 minute to go in the first. They've got a defensive rebound. They're now in transition. What can they bring here?
Borknight, pull-up jumper is money.
And not only is it money, it's also momentum. Loddon Valley fans clapping, enjoying it. You can feel the nervous energy starting to brew, but Derby, can they punish it with a score?
Beth Marshall goes round the screen, too strong with the layup. Nsangu does just enough. Here is Borknight, wide open, Sally, a 3, splash!
And it's tight ball game, 30 seconds left in the first. That timeout from Rockets has brought just the change they needed.
Each team can have a possession left in this first quarter. Lovely pass inside, and Nsangu with the block, but got more of the player. As Malcolm Smith will now go to the stripe. As Ben Silvaghi in good position. We see it on the replay here. It's a great find from Walker. And then there you go, and you can clearly see Nsangu got more of Malcolm Smith.
And a lot of body contact there as well. So even if he hadn't have clipped the arms, which it looked like he did, the body contact would have been enough for the referees to still blow the whistle.
Rob Marsden into the game for the first time for the Blazers, as Mo Walker takes a well-earned breather. 10 points, 4 rebounds for the former Leicester Riders man.
And a smart foul as well. There's only enough time on the clock for a Rockets possession, so get the guy on 1 foul out, protect him, ready to start the second quarter.
Smith makes them both. And the Derby Trailblazers have a 20-18 lead with 16.2 on the clock. As Victor Olarerin comes in, Ty Nsangu comes out, almost a like-for-like substitution with Mo Walker coming out and now Nsangu coming out.
Yeah, and 5 shooters on the floor for Reading Rockets, so they're going to time this, they're going to space the floor, ready to see Chamberlain maybe pick and pop to the 3-point line.
Here is Borknight, good hands there from Marsden. Finds Olarerin inside, there is Bryant, gets it to go. And that'll do it for the end of the first period, and we're all tied up at 20 apiece.
And that is a lovely find from Olarerin. Nurizade asking for a foul, but Malik Bryant absorbing the contact and finishing off the glass with his offhand.
So it's pretty much as you were, as we have a look at the replay of Malik Bryant cutting almost backdoor to the basket. As it's been a pretty even spread for the Rockets. Ty Nsangu has 6 points. For the Rockets off the bench, Yusuf Saleh has 5 on 2 of 3 shooting. The Rockets now getting their free throw percentage up to 50%. And for the Derby Trailblazers, they are shooting 27%, just 5 field goals in that first quarter. However, they're 8 for 9 from the free throw line, and they've been attacking the Rockets throughout the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and 8 out of 9 free throws is a great percentage, but it's also significantly more than the Reading Rockets have been able to attempt. Only 2 free throw attempts, which was made both by Ty Nsangu, but you want to see the Rockets try and be a little bit more aggressive and brave with their shot selection, not try and force too many passes inside and around the basket.
Now, as we have a look at the stats for the end of the first quarter, not quite full time yet. And that's an interesting statistic in its own right. But either way, it happens all the time. But either way, Mo Walker leading the way with 10 points, 4 rebounds for the Trailblazers. Ty Nsangu has 6 points to lead Reading. And you can still see there, Samit Nurizade talking to our umpire Dan Cox there. Obviously incensed that that last play from Bryant wasn't a foul and a 3-point play opportunity.
Yeah, and I think the tricky one is we saw the highlight from Ty Nsangu's foul, the replay, where he just got contact on the body, and I imagine that's what Nurizade was asking for on that last possession.
Pathmaraja to start the second quarter. Here is Washington. Brown. Marsden. Marsden drives, kicks it out. Pathmaraja with 4 to shoot, sets himself and sticks it.
And that's an important one for Pathmaraja because he hasn't made a field goal until that shot just there, and that's just one that he needed to see go in. Just one that drops, nice, easy, in-rhythm jump shot for him off the bounce.
What a season he has had. He's averaged just over 17 points a contest. Was one of the catalysts for a Derby Trailblazers comeback when these two teams met at Rivermead at the start of the year. And a player that has performed consistently well all season, a high-octane player on the offensive side. And defensively a menace as well, as you saw it there. And he forces a turnover out of Olarerin, Derby ball.
Yeah, and that's just not what you want if you're the Reading Rockets. Just an unnecessary turnover and an opportunity for Derby to extend their lead early in the second.
Here is Washington. Marsden, who can shoot the mid-range, backs down the Sangu, kicks it out. There is Brown, 3 to shoot. They've got to put something up, Derby. And Marsden rattles in a 2.
And if your bigs are making shots and your guards are confident, shoot the ball hard to defend.
And they get another turnover. Defense from Derby has been extremely impressive. Pathmaraja on the spin, blocked by Nsangu. Ball is still loose. Smith, the mid-range, no. Rebounded Chamberlain. Here is Borknight. Chamberlain has it. 7 to shoot for the Rockets. Here is Olarerin. Shot clock winding down. Reading have got to do something. Olarerin banks it in.
Big shot from Olarerin. We saw the nice move from Pathmaraja on the last possession, but just tried to force it on that one. Victor Olarerin manages to just create a little bit of space on a leaning jump shot and gets it to bank off the backboard.
24 to 22 to Derby. Here is Washington. And that pass wild, and it was, well, it wasn't deflected. It'll be a Reading possession. Of course, Pathmaraja left it to go out of bounds. It would have been a backcourt then if he collected it.
So it'll be a 14-second shot clock. Reading Rockets are having a bit of trouble in their pick and roll. Derby doing a really good job of putting 2 on the ball after Borknight uses the pick and roll, and he's struggling with that pressure at the minute.
Olarerin. Borknight finds Nsangu under the basket. Great help defense from Brown as Marsden was struggling. Borknight, 9 to shoot. Borknight drives and is fouled by Pathmaraja.
And Reading Rockets are really, really struggling with the pick and roll defense from Derby. They're doing something we call a hedge, John. It's something we can talk about on the whiteboard a bit later, but in essence, they put 2 players on the ball handler as he uses the pick and roll, and it means they leave Ty Nsangu open to roll to the basket. But because Borknight, Olarerin, Bryant, whoever has the ball has 2 players on him, he doesn't have the line of vision to be able to pass for the open roller. It's very well executed by the Blazers, and it is causing trouble to the Rockets offense.
Borknight hits the first and rattles in the second. Jax Borknight, a 78% foul shooter for the season, as Raheem May Thompson will check in and Pathmaraja will come out. So Kyle Henderson looking for a bit of size. Here is Washington. May Thompson to Smith. Marsden off the feed from Brown.
And we saw him hit a little mid-range earlier, and he's hit another one. So the bigs that are defending the likes of Walker and Marsden can't be giving them as much space as they are at the minute, as they are sinking little jump shots.
Here is Bryant. Bryant to Nasangu. Nasangu kicks it out. Olarerin for three is no good. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a Derby possession.
But good basketball from the Rockets. Bryant manages to just feed Nasangu inside. Nasangu had a go at trying to get to the rim. Defense came, so he hit the open corner shooter. And I don't think anyone in here expected Olarerin to miss an open three from the corner.
Olarerin shooting around, well, just about 30% from downtown this season as Connor Washington puts it in from mid-range. And the Trailblazers lead by 4, coming up to 4 minutes played here in the second period. Bryant. Borknight. Nasangu, risky pass, but it does find Bryant. Good defense from May Thompson, better offense from Bryant, and a foul.
And Malik Bryant, so athletically gifted, so strong and powerful around the basket, not only absorbs contact, but has the discipline and composure to feed it in off the glass.
You see the replay. It's actually good defense from May Thompson, but his feet slightly left the floor, and that is just asking for trouble when Malik Bryant is shooting over you. And a timeout called. And it's been a very entertaining game thus far, and not really much in it, has it, Charlie? And this is playoff basketball at its very best, isn't it?
It is, and it's two very different styles of basketball, which is something I'm really enjoying. I'm loving how Derby are using their bigs, Marsden and Walker, screening a lot around the basket for guards that come out to the three-point line. It's a really hard coverage for the Rockets. A modern way of defending screens is to switch, but because you've got such small, quick, and high-skilled guards on Derby and such big and powerful bigs around the basket, you can't switch your matchup, and that's creating lots of space for either inside looks or for corner threes. On the flip side of that, Reading Rockets, a very big pick and roll side, and they're struggling in the pick and roll at the minute. But when they are touching the paint and moving the ball, the offense looks good, and if they continue to find good looks, they will start dropping with the skill level of the team.
Well, it's a near full house here inside Loddon Valley, as it's been pretty much all season long. And amongst the spectators, former Reading Rockets guard Reece Pinnock, who of course has had a great season with the Oakland's Wolves in the National Basketball League. And of course his side, led by Liam Jefferson, will be in the playoff finals weekend, which is a great achievement for Reece Pinnock. He's had a great season over in St Albans.
Absolutely, and not just a fan favourite when he was here with the Rockets as a player, but also a fan favourite in the community, a very well-loved player and someone that you can see the Rockets family have enjoyed seeing back at the venue.
Certainly a few of the fans have shared their hugs and their handshakes with him as he was walking in, as May Thompson sticks a three.
You asked me about the strength of May Thompson at the top of the stream. Well, there you go. He can shoot the ball, he can drive the ball, and he's a smart, intelligent defender.
First field goal for Raheem May Thompson. Borknight. Raheem May Thompson did well to close him down there. Nasangu is open. Nasangu can't get that to fall. Connor Washington did just enough. Here is Washington, and a offensive foul has been called as Connor Washington had a full head of speed attacking downhill, and Jax Borknight anticipating exactly what was going to happen there as we have a look at the replay.
You can see Cooper Creek trying to make contact and try and cause a foul, but instead Borknight very intelligently just sets his feet and absorbs the contact. If Connor Washington had just stepped to the side after he passed, he might have been able to avoid that foul.
Borknight looking for Olarerin in the corner pocket. 8 to shoot for Borknight. Puts up a three, and that misses nearly everything. Bryant collects the loose change, and Malik Bryant will go to the line. That's great hustle from Malik Bryant, going over the taller Raheem May Thompson for that offensive board and drawing a foul.
Absolutely, and he must have just felt a little bit of contact on his way round as he took a tough shot. It probably wasn't a shot he expected to make. It was just him trying to draw the foul, which he does successfully. Raheem May Thompson, the culprit.
And one interesting thing as well, Charlie, is we were talking about this in the first quarter. It's now roles reversed. Reading have not committed a foul in this second quarter, and Derby are in the penalty. And with a shortened roster, they only have 8 players today. they're forced to make frequent substitutions as Rob Marsden, Raheem Thompson will come out and Pathmaraja and Walker check in.
Absolutely, and one of those 8 is obviously the young and very talented Casey Burr, but you won't expect to see him play too much in a playoff fixture, so they're now down to a rotation of 7, so foul trouble could really hurt them.
Of course, Casey Burr, product of the Rockets youth, the Trailblazers Youth Academy, and we have an issue here as Bryant goes to the deck and clutches his knee, and he is still on the floor.
Oh, that didn't look good. It looked like he just sort of landed maybe a little bit on the bench. You can see him here. It's just that landing. Yeah, it's his right foot. He's overextended at the ankle joint, and I think that one might not be very good news at all.
And Malik Bryant still on the floor as Rockets CEO Matt Johnson now coming over to help. Trailblazers do have a club physio here today, and she is walking over just to check on Bryant. And yeah, this isn't good. And for a Reading Rockets team, and we said this at the start, and you know, if anyone says to me this is the commentator's curse, as we spoke about it, Reading Rockets have not had many injury issues this season. I'm not a dealer in superstition, but you know, either way, the bigger picture is this is not good for the Rockets. A key player, especially coming off the bench in Malik Bryant, and he's still on the floor.
Yeah, and as you can see, just some highlights on your screen, just while we just give Bryant a bit of time and space to just look after himself with the physios and staff here on the court. What I will say is Bryant also has been having a very good game. 7 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, just 1 turnover. And of course, he drew those 2 fouls. We saw that one on Raheem Thompson not long ago. He's also been the most efficient player for the Reading Rockets, 2nd most efficient player of the game other than Mo Walker. So that is a disappointing loss, as it doesn't look like he's going to be able to come back in, and you just hope he's going to be okay. Maybe we might just be able to take this opportunity.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking we might have an opportunity here at this stage. I don't think we'll be able to, though. But we were going to get Charlie's corner, coach's corner, coming up. But while we do have a minute, but our cameraman, who's currently courtside, he's going to have to leg it up the stairs here. We are on the balcony here at Loddon Valley. I don't think we will have the time, though, as Malik Bryant is being helped up. And it looks like he's not going to play much of a part in this game. I think we'll... look, it's even on the stream. Look at him run. Look at him go. Like Usain Bolt in his prime. I'll tell you what, we do have a spare moment. So, Charlie, we'll give you 30 seconds of our time.
I'll take 30 seconds, no problem. One thing I wanted to talk about was how Derby have been defending pick and roll. So when the Reading Rockets have been screening, Derby have been putting 2 players on the ball. So as Bouknight uses the screen, his defender and the screen defender have both been trapping him, and that's been causing Rockets a lot of trouble. We'll talk more about that at halftime.
Pathmaraja to Walker. Well played, Alan, by the way. The cameraman raced up.
I think he might be sweating a little bit now.
That is Olympic-style running. Here is Brown. Washington. Washington finds his way inside. No good as the shot clock wound down. Mo Walker bumbles his way for the offensive board and puts it in at the 2nd attempt.
Just so big and so strong as Mo Walker, just bullying his way around the rim, and then such a soft, graceful touch at the end just gets the ball to sink through the strings.
He has 6 rebounds already, 9 offensive rebounds now for Derby. That's an offensive foul on Bouknight, pushing away.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm surprised by it, but I felt there was a lot of, you can see number 13, Washington, just sort of reaching across Bouknight, which has created the initial contact, but clearly referee felt that was legal, and so Bouknight's reaction to the contact is what has been signaled as an offensive foul.
Certainly the Reading Rocket fans on the baseline behind the basket weren't happy with it, but I'm not going to repeat what they were saying. As Malcolm Smith hits the deck, still keeps his dribble alive. There is Walker, 5 to shoot for Derby. The turn from Walker, great defense, but a foul has been called.
Okay.
On the spin, it looked like a good foul, but then the help defense came over from Creek and the referee saw an infringement.
Yeah, you got a replay here, so again, another good one for us to look at. You see Nsangu just trying to use his body. That is not the foul. The foul's going to come here. So this is where the foul was called. It looks to me like Walker's sort of created all of that contact, so I think Nsangu a little bit unlucky to be called for that one.
Mo Walker at the line for Derby, misses the first.
And Loddon Valley enjoyed that miss. The volume just picking up. It's a really close contest, exciting first half. And Loddon Valley are making noise, banging drums. Mo Walker, the experienced player, will be able to lock in through that, but Loddon Valley are doing the best they can to make some noise.
8 of 10, make it 9 of 11 now for Derby at the stripe. And Mo Walker now 2 of 3. Borknight. Creek just about collects it. Olorarian has to help him. Olorarian gets it stolen away, and away come the Blazers. Pathmarajar hangs in the air and puts it down. Timeout, Samit Nurizadeh, and the Derby Trailblazers have a 7-point lead.
And not a lot you can do more than that if you're Yusuf Salih. He's the last man, so he can't use one of his fouls. He stays vertical, but Pathmarajar and his athleticism off the Euro step gets high and rises up and over Salih and then just floats one in.
Only Pathmarajar's second field goal. He's 2 of 8 from the floor, but he's doing the intangibles right now for Derby. And Derby, who, you know, keep in mind, only have 8 players today, are shooting 39% from the floor, but they've attacked Reading all game long, and they're out rebounding the Rockets 17 to 12, and as a result of that, they're getting second chance points. They've got 10 points in the paint, 4 second chance points, which is a really outstanding statistic for such a short-handed side.
Well, I think Mo Walker has just been absolutely dominant in this one. And not only is that something that causes your matchup problems, but it makes it hard to defend as a team, because if you send a player to go and double team him, you're leaving really talented shooters such as May Thompson, Washington, Pathmarajar. You're leaving these kind of guys open to shoot or create advantage, and that's a very risky tactic. But Mo Walker's dominant performance may force Rockets to have to keep sending 2 players to the ball.
Borknight. There is Portman. Salih. Shot clock at 4. Yusuf Salih dancing with Pathmarajar. Yusuf Salih all string.
And I really like the idea of going back to Portman in the post. Obviously picked up his second foul earlier than he probably needed to. But then just Yusuf Salih, just the scorer that he is, gets to his spot and makes the shot.
Brown, Pathmarajar, 8 to shoot now for the Blazers. Turnaround jumper from Smith is short. Again, the noise intensifies around the valley. Borknight dancing, driving, pulling up and sticking it in.
That's a tough shot for a Borknight. Manages to get close and around the rim, but has to lean back and shoot higher than normal to get it over the outstretched arm of Pathmarajar.
Washington gets the step on Salih, but Salih recovers. Pathmarajar's pull-up jumper, and he'll go to the line, and Jax Borknight protests his innocence, but more free throws coming for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, you just wonder if maybe he got a bit of contact as Pathmarajar rose up. There has to be some kind of contact, whether it was on the legs or whether it was a connection on the arm. There has to be something for him to for the referee to have signaled. So Path Marajar now with a chance to continue this good free throw shooting performance.
Victor Olarerin will check in, and I'm assuming it's going to be for Borknight, who's still protesting to our crew chief, Ben Silvagi. He'll head to the bench now.
And Sarant Nourizadeh joining in with the protest. I think Nourizadeh asking if it was actually Path Marajar that created the contact by kicking out the leg. Nonetheless, first one.
Either way, he'll make the first one. And yeah, Path Marajar, from playing bit part minutes last season for the Trailblazers, he's increased his minute load and he's become one of the top offensive players here in the BCB. He's had an incredible season.
Absolutely, and a really highly talented player, super athletic, super quick and shifty, and he's really been a big impact for Derby this year.
Olarerin, well, the ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Rockets. .150 to play in the half. Sally. Olarerin. And Olarerin misses the long shot, rebounded by Portman. And Sally will reset. A minute and a half to play in the second period. Creek can't get his three to go. Rebounded by Walker. Here is Path Marajar, full head of steam. Path Marajar showing no fear, but Creek got the block and a foul has been called. And Derby in the penalty, so Reading will go to the line.
And Cooper Creek has just been getting better and better and better as the season goes on. That's a really tough block coming from the side. Really important you try and limit your body contact and not get any piece of the arm whatsoever. Times his block really well and gets a full palm on the ball. Not only that, but then a bit of a silly foul from Malcolm Smith. And just puts Cooper Creek on the line. And with that, with 1 minute 22 seconds left, Path Marajar will now come out for Casey Burr.
And Casey Burr, as you say, the Trailblazers junior player who's actually got enough experience under his belt this season. He's played some good minutes for the Blazers and a really promising up-and-coming player.
Absolutely, and a lovely young man as well. Managed to meet him in the under-18s semi-final of the National Cup. Had a really good chat with him after the game. He's a very humble, hard-working young man that is great to see him succeed as much as he is.
And a timeout called on the floor, 1:22 to play, and it's a three-point game and a good response from the hosts, having trailed by as many as 7 a couple of minutes ago, and they've really come out and have attacked and executed very well on the offensive side.
Absolutely, and you can see them now starting to put the ball in certain hands. Yusuf Saleh making an impact with his 7 points, and on top of that, of course, Victor Olarerin not necessarily making too big of an impact on the score sheet yet, but getting better looks. And as we said, the more good looks he gets, the more likely they'll start to drop. I mean, I think he's only on 5 points, and yet we saw that tough step back from the top of the three not long ago. However, Derby Trailblazers, the strength that they have on the floor. Mo Walker still the most impactful player, but Path Marajar is really starting to impress in this second quarter.
.122 to play in the half. Biggest lead for either team in this game has been 7 points. It's been a tightly contested BCB playoff quarterfinal. All 3 games on Saturday were also tightly contested, one of which, of course, went to overtime. That was Milton Keynes and Nottingham. Here is Burr to Smith. 5 to shoot. Malcolm Smith falling away and puts it down.
Good shot from Malcolm Smith, a tough shot indeed, but a big shot for him. And the last 55 seconds of this one, super important with it being playoff basketball.
Nasangu. Sally. A wide open Zane. Poorman a three, puts it down.
That is a big shot from Poorman. We don't see him shooting too often with the shooters in this Rockets team, but open like that, he will get it to sink.
Third three-pointer for the Rockets, 3 of 10 overall. 24 seconds to play here in the half. Here is Brown, here is Smith. Smith with the two, no, rebounded Creek. And Rockets will have to, well, they'll look to slow it down, and they will, as the shot clock is off. Final seconds of the half. Sally puts it up, it's no good, it's rebounding the Sangu, that's no good either. And that ends a competitive first 20 minutes of playoff basketball, and it's everything you want to see. Derby, though, have a slender 40-38 lead going into the break. Mo Walker leading the way, leading all scorers with 13. He also has 7 rebounds to his name, and leading the way for the Rockets. Malik Bryant and Yusuf Saleh have 7 points, both of them coming off the bench.
Absolutely, and I think it might be a seed 1 versus seed 8, but 2 teams talented enough for a final, and I feel like that is the quality of basketball that we've been watching, not just on the offensive end, but the defensive schemes and tactics from both teams. It's been really interesting and exciting to watch, and of course, John, when we come back, we can have a little look at those on the board.
Well, absolutely. Charlie's Corner will be coming up to start the third quarter, and you will have a little bit more time on this occasion.
Can we still make the cameraman run, John? I quite enjoyed that last time.
He's actually down on courtside right now as well. But either way, look, it's halftime. It is the Aldermore Reading Rockets 38, Derby Trailblazers 40, as the younger generation take to the court to get their shots and their reps up. And we will be back in roughly 13 minutes' time. towards what Charlie is going to talk about in Charlie's corner. Go for it, Charlie.
Yeah, well, the first thing I wanted to talk about was how bigs are screening for smalls. Okay, so the way that this is happening is they've got their shooters under the basket and they've got their bigs on the low block, and what they're then doing with the likes of Charlie Brown at the top of the three, I think might have lost me on the screen at the minute.
We just can't catch a break here, can we?
It's not so much the chalk, it's just the talk at the minute.
We will get there. As you see,
at least you got a nice halftime graphic.
We have got 2 and a bit minutes until the third quarter is due to begin, and at some point we will get it. But before we get the screen back, what do you look for in this third quarter? What do both teams need to do to get off the ground and running?
I think the biggest one for the Reading Rockets, John, is going to be how they can solve the problem of the size advantage that Derby have been throwing at them. The likes of Malcolm Smith haven't actually had that big of an impact yet because it's all gone through Mo Walker. But if you take all the attention off the likes of Rob Marsden and Malcolm Smith and you only focus on the one main threat of Mo Walker, then all of a sudden other players are going to start contributing to the scoreboard. Also really impressed with the impact from Paf Marajar in that second quarter. So if they can get their guards and their bigs firing, it becomes almost impossible to defend.
As we get set now to start the third quarter, both teams now heading to the benches. It's probably looking like we won't get Charlie's coach's corner just yet, I think.
Oh. There we go.
We're back.
All right, so we were just talking about the likes of Charlie Brown having the ball at the top of the three, and then you've got your shooter under the basket and your big on the low block. And what they've been doing a lot, Derby, is having their big screen in for the small player to then come out. So that gives the small an opportunity to shoot or the big an opportunity to dive for the ball inside. Reading were looking to defend post catches at the start by having the player defend in front of the big. But what that then meant was, if I have Tyner Sangu in front of Mo Walker, then the likes of Cooper Creek has to then defend behind. So what did they do? They had Cooper Creek's defender then flash to the high post. This then meant that when the ball was passed to the high post and Cooper Creek had to go with his man, they could then pass the ball inside. Now, flip that. Reading Rockets, lots of pick and roll. So this is our screen. This is Tyner Sangu screening for Jax Bouknight. As he's using the screen, what Derby have been doing is they've been having their screen defender stop Jax Bouknight, and Jax Bouknight's defender also go with him, which means the roller is wide open. However, it doesn't matter how open he is if you've got two players aggressively defending the person with the ball, and Bouknight and Victor Olorarian have been struggling to try and find passes out of this because of how aggressive Derby have been defending.
Well played, Charlie. Well played.
Quick fire, quick fire.
As we get set to start the third quarter, Reading get the first possession. It is a live stream. Not everything is meant to be faultless, is it? So we got there in the end. Sally, 7 to shoot for the Rockets. Sally, a long three off the back iron. And collected by May Thompson. Here is Pathmarajan. Washington, he was thinking about it. A lot of time on the shot clock for Derby to do something. Walker, 5 to shoot now. May Thompson, no good with his three. Creek the rebound.
Both teams with deep threes to try and start the second half. Wonder if maybe one of the teams might put the ball inside in a minute.
5 rebounds for Cooper Creek, and he's on the ball now. Cooper Creek puts it up, no good. He's 0 of 3 now from the field. Here is Nsangu, and they'll reset. 8 to shoot for Olorarian. Drives inside, no good, and a foul is called as Pathmarajan just hung on a little bit too much there to Tyner Sangu. Had a few words for Jai Pathmarajan, but Pathmarajan unfazed.
So a chance for Rockets to produce something from the baseline.
Olarerin. 6 to shoot. Here is Portman dancing around the baseline, loses the ball, and May Thompson comes up with it. Ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Derby possession. And again, good defense from the Trailblazers.
Absolutely, just filling the paint as Portman looked to play inside and just pack it out and then get out quickly to shooters. But good hands from Raheem May Thompson is what set the ball loose. And then a little bit of a scuffle led to a Rockets player knocking the ball out of bounds.
Brown. Here is Washington. Driving at Creek, kicks it out. Here is May Thompson. Shot clock winding down. May Thompson. And a foul has been called, and I think 2 shots are coming as well. And Mo Walker will go back to the line as we are yet to get underway points-wise in this third period. And Mo Walker can break that fast at the stripe.
Mo Walker, if he can have as hot a start in the second half as he did at the start of the game, then he is on for a very, very big performance. And you wonder if just playoff energy, playoff basketball just brought that extra edge of competitive spirit out of him, as he has been unbelievable in this game.
Well, he has enjoyed playing here at Loddon Valley in his 2 seasons with the Blazers, 3 double-doubles. But, and he's close to one here as well. Creek misses the 3-pointer. Here is Pathmarajan. Brown. Back to Brown, who puts up a 3 from the wing. That grazes the rim, and the Sangu comes up with it.
Yeah, Charlie Brown, we know, doesn't shoot a lot, but can make them, but been off the mark from outside the 3-point range in this game.
Here is Creek to Sally. 6 to shoot. Olarerin on the catch and shoot, puts it in. Victor Olarerin, as the shot clock was expiring.
Phones out, hands in the air, 3 signs raised, clappers clapping. Victor Olarerin celebrates that one with Loddon Valley.
Charlie Brown methodical in his approach, as is per usual, as Portman steals it off May Thompson. Here is Olarerin to the cup.
And we said it, if he gets a couple to drop and he gets hot, Loddon Valley gets a little bit louder.
And the Rockets have the lead, 43 to 42. Washington gets the step on Sally on the spin. Good defense from Portman. It will stay with Derby. As Simon Chamberlain will check in for the Rockets. Tyner Sangu will come out. And even though it's virtually a like-for-like, Chamberlain does the majority of his damage on the perimeter, so that will give the Rockets a lot of space.
Yeah, and also just does put pressure on Cooper Creek to have to defend Mo Walker inside, so Nuazade trusting his Australian at the minute.
Pathmarajan gets Portman jumping for joy. Great handles. Can't get that to fall. Derby again get the offensive board. Brown. Brown goes to the basket, no good. Another offensive rebound, Pathmarajan slows it. Shot clock in single figures. May Thompson, and May Thompson is fouled by Chamberlain as he was going for the shot. Chamberlain was jumping, and easy foul for the referee to make, but despite that, the Reading fans still not happy with it.
Yeah, I think he actually stepped on his foot. You got the replay on your screen here. Yes, Chamberlain just clips Raheem May Thompson's right foot. And Mo Walker for 3.
Mo Walker doesn't get that 3 to go, and now a foul by Jay Pathmarajan to loud cheers from the Reading fans.
Absolutely. I think you can just feel it every few minutes as this game moves on. The Loddon Valley crowd have got a little bit more excited, and not only are they celebrating the foul call, it's also, I think you're about to say this, Path Marajar's fourth personal foul.
Was just about to say that. Path Marajar on 4 fouls now, so that's a big foul count there for the Trailblazers.
Yep, and he's been excellent. It forces Malcolm Smith into the game, who isn't so good around the three-point line.
Creek under the basket, blocked by Smith. Big rejection from Malcolm Smith. The lob, the pass inside, and Smith puts it in.
Malcolm Smith doesn't need to be good outside the 3 if he can have good composure and awareness around the rim like that. 1-point game, advantage Derby.
Sally, and Portman loses the ball. And the Trailblazers will get it back. This is everything you want in playoff basketball right now. Both teams trading blows, trading baskets. It's win or go home. Washington, a 3, it's good! Connor Washington from downtown. It's a 4-point lead.
Lovely set offense from Derby. Look to get Mo Walker inside. Well defended by Reading, so they screen the shooter out, and Washington wide open on the wing to shoot a good 3-ball.
How will the champions respond? Portman, he'll put up a 3. That's short. It's rebounded Walker. And Connor Washington is fouled by Portman.
Yeah, Portman not happy about it. I think Washington knew that Portman was flying at him, so as he spins, let's have a look. Portman feels like there isn't a lot of contact. Oh, but he clipped the legs.
He did clip the legs.
Yeah, so and well sold as well from Connor Washington. As soon as you feel that contact, he knows Portman's in foul trouble, and that puts him, I think, on 3 now.
Yeah.
But there are 6 Rockets players on the court, so there we go.
Connor Washington, who of course started his career in Northampton with Moulton College, and of course a decorated career under Rob Paternostro at the Leicester Riders. He knows big game situations. Here is Washington to Brown. Washington putting the moves on Borknight, goes inside, no good, but they get the ball again, Derby, and Smith puts it in, and again, just lackadaisical from Reading.
Yeah, Malcolm Smith as well, just being a presence around the offensive glass, and that's twice that he's scored around the rim in the last minute.
Olarerin. Oh, do Reading need his influence right now? Chamberlain drives to the basket, beautiful footwork. Can't get it to go though.
Yeah, good move from Simon Chamberlain, but just a little bit of panic around the rim. Just need a little bit more composure, as that was a makeable layup.
Brown. Walker loses the handle. Creek nearly got it. Washington, 6 to shoot. Great hands by Olarerin. Olarerin to the basket, throws it down.
Bang! You listen to Loddon Valley erupt. Everyone on their feet celebrating. Olarerin creates the momentum Rockets need.
And they get the steal, Reading. Here is Olarerin. Chamberlain back to Olarerin. Creek calling for it. Throws it. Borknight sets himself a 3. It's good. Jack Borknight hits. Timeout, Kyle Henderson.
Around the world, and in it goes. 3-ball for Borknight. Loddon Valley on their feet. Crowd erupts. Timeout, Derby.
This is BCB playoff action. A big shot from Jack Borknight. And look what it meant to him as we have a look at Derby there on the previous play. Big score there from Smith. And then we see Victor Olarerin throwing it down, igniting this Loddon Valley crowd. And then the big 3 from Jack Borknight. Enough for Kyle Henderson to call time on proceedings with 3:09 to play in the third period as Haribo Sweets, just as I was talking, Haribo Sweets came right onto our lap.
Well, I might have to might have to take one just to chill out and calm down. What a last couple of minutes that was. High pace, high action, high flying, and a great 3-ball from Boknight. And this is what we're saying about this game. It's a seed 1 versus seed 8, but the quality of both teams is so high, and both teams with players that can make big plays.
And in that sequence as well, Charlie, Mo Walker got his double-double as well. 15 points, 10 rebounds.
Well deserved.
For Walker. Here is Brown. Walker sets the screen. Walker uses Washington instead. Washington dancing, still has it. Ball is loose, it comes up in Reading's possession. Borknight down the middle, loses the ball, Brown comes up with it. May Thompson, and May Thompson slows it. Walker, and Brown can't hang on.
Yeah, just a good pass from Mo Walker, and Charlie Brown was wide open, but for some reason tried to catch the ball with one hand. You'll see here that he tried to catch it with just his right hand. Always catch the ball before you do anything else. Even if you're ready to shoot, you have to focus on the catch first.
Portman. Backing down May Thompson, kicks it out. Chamberlain a 3, no.
Oh, the place would have had to fix the roof if that one had gone in.
May Thompson spins past Borknight, out of control, and a foul has been called. Just waiting to see what the call is. It's a foul on, well, it just tells you the story, doesn't it? It's on Portman. Let's have a look at this.
I'm not sure there, John. I think Portman was set, and I think Raheem May Thompson on his spin didn't manage to avoid the set defender, instead went straight through the chest. I think that had to be an offensive foul.
Well, Yusuf Salih is coming in. Zane Portman will head to the bench. And that's also Zane Portman's 4th foul. So Pathmarajar and Portman, 2 key components to the Derby and Reading side, in foul trouble with 2:04 to play here in this 3rd period in a high-stakes game. As Raheem May Thompson, a 73% foul shooter, strings the first.
But a veteran like May Thompson, when the heat is at its highest and the lights are at its brightest, he'll be comfortable at the free-throw line.
Makes them both.
Experienced player and someone that has been in this position before.
Borknight. Chamberlain. Salih. Olorarian with 7 to shoot. Olorarian step back 3 off the back iron. Rebounded Marsden.
Chance here for Derby just to get this to a 2-possession game. That'd be big for them if they do.
Washington. Washington gets it back off the screen from Marsden, kicks it out. Here is Marsden, a midi. And Derby nearly get an offensive board. That will be Reading possession.
Great defense from Salih to get all the way out there on the closeout. He knows Marsden, not a great driver, but someone that can hit the mid-range shot. So really gambles on the fact that Marsden was going to shoot and didn't close out short.
Here is Olorarian. Olorarian right down Main Street, and Victor Olorarian will go to the line to a near sarcastic cheer from the Rockets fans. Obviously directed at the officials.
Good take though from Olorarian. Just you see on your screens here, look, just finds that gap on his left hand. Important players have the ability to not just use their dominant hand, but be able to go to their weak hand when they need it. And that was a good opportunity there for Olorarian to get all the way to the rim, absorb some contact, and now 2 shots at the line.
As Olorarian makes the first, and you've got to give credit where it's due, though, to the referees. They've had a fantastic game. Okay, but the fans here have not agreed with every call that they've made, but for Ben Silvagi, Dan Cox, and Ethan Phillipson, they have done a fantastic job in what has been a high-stakes game.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of experience and highly talented players that know as well how to draw contact and absorb contact. So as referees, you're not just looking at, was there a person on the floor, or how did they get there? Was it a sell or was it an actual foul? And that's what they're going to have to continue to try and manage as they have been in this game.
Casey Burr getting some minutes to end the third period as well. Here is Washington, there is Burr. Burr can't get it to go, and we have a very unconventional wedgie. Don't see that kind of wedgie often.
I have never seen one like that before, where it went around the rim and then dropped into being stuck between rim and backboard. By the way, can we talk about how good a pass that is from Washington? Off balance, weak hand, just dishes it to Casey Burr.
Here is Washington. Burr to Brown. Brown finds Smith. It will go out of bounds. It will stay with Derby with 4.3 on the shot clock.
Yusuf Salih so alert and aware on the last few defensive possessions.
It all comes down to what will be a very exciting fourth and final quarter. Here is Marsden. Marsden to the left hand. No, Reading ball.
And not only a Reading ball, but 34 seconds left. An opportunity for Reading to take the lead. Some clock management here. You've got a choice. You can either go very quick, which I would be surprised if they do, and try and get an extra shot at the end, or you take your time and leave as little on the clock as possible for Derby to end the third.
Borknight finds Creek, no hesitation, a three!
2-point lead, Reading Rockets trying to avoid the heads of the fans standing in front of me as they are on their feet.
Cooper Creek from the outback as the Rockets have a 2-point lead. Burr, Brown, final seconds, but they steal it away, and that'll do it for the end of the third period. Charlie Brown had a little bit of a lane there to take the shot, but looked for the pass as we end the third period, and the Rockets, the champions, take a 53-51 lead. But Derby have been so competitive. This has the hallmarks of an incredible finish.
Absolutely. What a third quarter we have just been treated to. We've had the Haribos, we've had the dunks, we've had the threes, we have had everything going on. And what an excellent performance from Reading to bring this one back despite a shaky start to the third quarter, and managed to win the period by 4. The first quarter they've won of the game.
Victor Olorarian has 14 points to lead Reading. Leading the way, leading all scorers for Derby is Mo Walker, who has 15 points and 10 rebounds. And as we begin or just about to begin the fourth quarter, Charlie, just quickly, we'll go to you, we'll swing it to you for your thoughts on what has been a brilliant third quarter with your corner.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about some of the things that Derby are trying to do. I'm going to talk about it really quickly. Connor Washington has set a lot of back screens for the big Mo Walker. What that does is it forces his player to help, and then a second big screens for Washington to come out. They've now got the look inside to Mo Walker or the shot from the three-point line, and that is what Reading have had to start defending at the end of the third.
Here is Borknight as we start the fourth quarter. Borknight slips but still has it. Off the pass from Chamberlain. Step back three, that's off. But Creek gets the offensive board and the putback.
What a rebound from Cooper Creek. And not only did they take the lead at the end of the third, but they extended it at the start of the fourth. Playoff basketball, fourth quarter, here we go.
It's a 4-point lead for Reading. This is their biggest lead of the game. Foul away from the ball. And I think that will be a foul on Creek. And that's Cooper Creek's second foul. But for Derby, who have led for various chunks of this game, now the biggest lead of the game for the Rockets.
Yeah. Unfortunate from Creek there, just managed to have a second look on one of our screens here, John, and just the defender just ran into the back of his shoulder as Creek was moving, so it was unintentional but a fair foul call.
Marsden. Brown, a three. Brown, no good.
This is a big possession for Rockets. A score here puts so much pressure on the Derby Trailblazers.
Remember, Reading have the deeper squad to select from. Derby with only 8 players in this game. Here is Borknight. Olarerin for 3. No. Rebounded Marsden. Good defensive stance from Charlie Brown, getting his hands up as Olarerin was shooting. Here is Washington. Washington, a step back 3. That
Wow, that was a good look for Washington. A tough shot for many, but not for a player of his talent. In and out. Can't get much closer without dropping.
Borknight. Just feel the intensity growing as Sally drives. Kicks it out. Chamberlain a 3.
That's another big shot for the Rockets. 7-point advantage. Simon Chamberlain does not miss 3 balls like that one.
The joint biggest lead of the contest. May Thompson. Big defensive stance here for Reading needed. And a foul call. That's on Creek again. That'll be his 3rd. And Kyle Henderson is going to roll the dice and take a risk as Joe Pethmarajar will come in. As along with Mo Walker, as Rod Marsden and Charlie Brown head to the bench.
And you do wonder if Trailblazers don't get a score and Rockets get one more, might it be a timeout needed for Derby? They won't want to use that second one yet unless they have to. Another foul called.
Another foul has been called, yeah, as Derby will get the ball back. So that's 2 quick team fouls for the Rockets. Pethmarajar. Violation is the call against Joe Pethmarajar.
Yeah, just must have lifted his back foot up before putting the ball on the floor. Something we work a lot on with our academy and club players, making sure that that ball drops before you lift your back foot up. Easy travels.
Another whistle has gone. Quick fouls here from both teams.
Good pressure from Connor Washington, just didn't end up being in their favours. Got a little too handsy for the referee's liking.
sideline ball to the Rockets.
Early doors in the 4th and final quarter. Sally driving to the basket. Kyle
Deciding not to call timeout. May Thompson inside as Chamberlain was all over Malcolm Smith.
And Chamberlain having that foul brings up the 4th team foul for Reading. So as good as it's been this last 2.5 minutes for Reading, being physical, being aggressive, making everything difficult, they now do have to just manage their fouls as they don't want to give up free throws now that there is a little bit of pressure on the scoreboard for Derby.
Well, this is the biggest lead of the game for either team. Pethmarajar and, May Thompson goes out of bounds.
Yeah, just a surprising error from him. Just stepped out, and that does mean that Reading have a chance to push this to double digits. I'm expecting Derby very shortly to maybe have to call a timeout here as the pressure is on them.
Here is Creek. Olarerin to Chamberlain. Borknight, there is Sally, a 3. That misses everything.
Super important Derby get a score here. They can't continue to go this many possessions without a basket.
Pethmarajar, as Malcolm Smith loses the ball, Sally to Olarerin. Olarerin, the finish. Biggest lead of the game. It's a double-digit lead. Kyle Henderson calls timeout.
Yes, and a needed timeout. I actually think, John, a couple of minutes late, Derby have not troubled the scoreboard at all this quarter. 3.5 minutes in, we get their second timeout. What a pass as well from Yusuf Salih on that last possession to get Olorere in an easy bucket.
That was the question I was going to ask you as well, Charlie. As a coach yourself, a much-needed timeout for Kyle Henderson, but did it come a couple of minutes too late? Because this is a big momentum boost for Reading, and after that, the previous score, we thought Kyle Henderson would call the timeout, but decided to let play go. It was after that, well, actually it wasn't after that shot, but it was a previous one. But he didn't call it, and that's a big call to make in a big game like this.
Well, one of the things you have to do as a coach in basketball, which is a game full of runs, is you have to manage runs, John. And they haven't managed the run very well, because although this quarter has started 9-0, the last quarter finished 5-0. So rather than try and call this timeout when Rockets were on a 6-0 run, they've actually called it on a 14-0 run. And I can't see Derby coming back from a 14-0 run. They need a really good timeout here.
Well, if Derby want a run, they need it now. They need points. Washington, that'll do.
Connor Washington, such a good veteran guard. So smart in the way he plays. Such a good shooter from the three and finisher around the rim.
Now Derby need a couple of stops. Here is Creek. Borknight. Finds Creek. Salih. Salih goes inside. Good defense from Mo Walker, but Reading come up with it. Chamberlain. Olorere. Olorere dancing to the basket, blocked by May Thompson.
Awesome block from May Thompson, but Derby cannot just have stops, they must have scores.
Pathmaraja to the basket, gets it to go, back-to-back scores from the Trailblazers. They're not going away quietly.
Absolutely, Rockets need a score and a stop here, or expect them to use their first timeout in the second half.
Borknight, Creek is open a three, no, rebounded May Thompson.
Derby need to keep putting pressure. They can't have empty trips.
Pathmaraja hits the deck. Reading keep going. Olorere bumps his way in.
And a lot of contact there. I thought it might be an and one.
Pathmaraja, Reading short on numbers, but they get the stop. Borknight. Salih is open a three. It's good! Yusuf Salih from downtown, and the champions restore their double-digit advantage.
Yusuf Salih, talk about impact off the bench. What a performance this game from Yusuf Salih.
Pathmaraja. There is Walker. Walker bundles his way to the hoop, and he'll go to the line for two.
And actually a pretty good foul from Reading. They haven't fouled in the last 3 minutes. They've been really disciplined, but that one was a good look for Mo Walker, so it made sense to foul him and stop him getting the layup.
Jay Pathmaraja heads to the bench. Charlie Brown will come in. Kyle Henderson wisely saving Pathmaraja for the game's later stages, hoping that Derby will get a run as Walker buries the first. Well, it's been an incredible quarter-final round here in the BCB, as Walker misses the second one, and Smith can't get that one to go, but he'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, Cooper Creek having a word with his team, not happy that as a group they gave up an offensive board and forced him into having to commit a foul to stop the layup. I think that's number 4 on him as well.
As Malcolm Smith heads to the line for the Trailblazers, not the most reliable of foul shooters this season. However, he makes the first.
Derby might have to try something a bit different on the defensive end just to try and throw something a little bit new at Rockets, maybe a zone press or a half-court trap, something that can try and force them into turnovers.
Smith makes them both. Single-digit game again. Sally. Olarerin. Borknight closely guarded by Washington. There is Creek open. Long. And it's taken by Sally. Borknight a three. No. Rebound in the Sangu. And Walker collects the loose ball. And a technical foul has been called. And it's on the Sangu. He was doing a lot of talking. That'll be 4 fouls on the Sangu now as well.
Yeah, just watching that back on one of our screens, you can see he was frustrated. He sort of just put his arms up and said that's a foul. I'm surprised that they've given him a technical on there, but I suppose whenever you're talking to a ref, John, you're opening up the opportunity for a technical foul.
And another thing as well, as said, that's a big call, because that's 4 fouls now on the Sangu. So the Rockets now with Zane Portman, Cooper Creek, and now Tyner Sangu all on 4 fouls. Washington hits the deck. That'll be a Derby ball as it came off the Sangu last. You feel that a basket here from the Trailblazers could change the complexity, the momentum of this contest, especially if it's a three-pointer.
Yeah, for sure. And it's in a game like this where the score in the grand scheme of things isn't necessarily too high. It's not just about the scores, but also the stops. And you can see the shot clock's also just been reduced to 14, so they don't have as long to get a shot up.
Mae Thompson puts it down. It's a 6-point game.
Such an athletic wing, can rise up, and long levers, shoots the ball over the rising defender. And
enough for Samet Nurizadeh to call a timeout, and Derby Trailblazers, again, they're on the hunt. And Samet Nurizadeh, a wise timeout to just try and kill any momentum that the Trailblazers might have with 3:35 to play, a lot of time. And the Trailblazers have done so well to fight their way back from a double-digit deficit and get it to as little as 6 points. Reading's biggest lead was 12.
Yeah, and a smart timeout from Nurizadeh because he's managing runs, as we spoke about. Obviously started the fourth quarter 9-0, but in the last few minutes, it's actually been in favor of Derby, 10 to 5. As you said, John, a really good disciplined comeback, and that's where veteran experience is starting to show off and show out. So an important timeout. Nurizadeh would have lost this timeout in a minute and a half if he didn't use it, so smart to use it anyway. But both teams now going to look to maybe throw something slightly different on the defensive end to try and ruin the offensive plan of the other coach. And on offense, keep it simple, keep it clean, get good looks.
As you see there, the man from Azerbaijan who guided the Rockets to a BCB League title, talking to Ben Silvagi, a Hungarian native, but residing in East Sussex, as he's just talking about a previous play that could have been a foul on the Rockets end. Rockets with possession, and on the ball here is Sally.
Great defense from Mae Thompson.
Olarerin finds a gap and puts it in, and a foul.
Manages to go all the way to the rim, absorbs so much contact, and very impressive to get that shot off without a block. Huge and one play out of the timeout.
That's a big, big score, as you say, out of the timeout. Now Victor Olarerin will go to the line where he is 2 for 2 this afternoon. And Samet Nurizadeh keeping faith in his captain, Zane Portman, who is on 4 fouls as Yusuf Sally comes out. And Olarerin cans the first. Here is Brown. Mae Thompson. Walker gets the step on the Sangu. Pullman got the steal. Whistle has gone. It's an offensive foul. And it's, just see who it's on. I think it's on Connor Washington. Have a look at the replay here. In fact, excuse me, it was on Walker.
Yeah, just after he passed, just went through the middle of Cooper Creek's chest. So that is, by definition, a charging foul.
Second foul on Mo Walker. Olarerin, Nasangu. Borknight. Borknight driving. Here is Pullman. Shot clock at 7. Olarerin a 3. It's good! Victor Olarerin over 2 Derby defenders.
Oh my goodness, John, what a shot that is from Olarerin, and what a time to make it.
Smith at the other end. Smith gets it to go.
And he
Big bucket.
He had to, with the momentum that shot from Olarerin caused. But does that momentum not just force Derby into a score, but can it keep the scoreboard ticking over for Reading?
Borknight. And Borknight fouled by Washington. And Derby still have a foul to give. Reading in the penalty. 2:13 to play, but more importantly, they're up by 10. Derby needs stops. Reading can play a bit of time management. Borknight. Here is Pullman. Borknight a 3. Oh, that would have been a dagger had he got that to go. Here is Brown. Charlie Brown has 5 assists. Washington misses the 3. It's stolen away by Pullman. It's collected by Olarerin. And a technical foul has been called on Mo Walker.
Yeah, and they had no choice. The referees obviously called Taina Sangu for one earlier for commenting about a foul call that he felt was missed. Well, Mo Walker had just as big a reaction there, so had to be called. But even though it might be starting to look like the game is in the Rockets' grass, you can't afford to have a technical foul with under 2 minutes to go in a game that you're chasing.
And Victor Olarerin, you sense now, could seal it for the Rockets. He makes the first, and he looks directly into the eyes of the Derby fans sat opposite the Derby bench. Borknight. And Borknight is fouled by Washington. Derby now in the penalty.
Yeah, so that they have to foul, because they have to hope Rockets will miss some shots so that they can have as many possessions as possible on the offensive end. But Borknight's such a good shooter. If he can get both ideally, but at least one to go, Rockets are in good position here to see the game out.
Well, previously, the Rockets were 12 for 12 this afternoon. Borknight has just missed the first free throw for the Rockets this afternoon. But there's no pressure. You know, you miss one, you just got to make this one, which he does. As we come up to 1.5 minutes left. Pathmarajar. This has got to go. It doesn't. May Thompson skies for the rebound. Washington misses everything.
A rare miss from Connor Washington after a great rebound from May Thompson.
And there's some afters between Walker and Nasangu, and both have to be incredibly careful. And I think they've both been, well, Nasangu's gone. Nasangu's just been given a technical, so Ty Nasangu is done.
Oh, what
He's been ejected.
What a shame. 1.5 minutes left. The referees were managing it really well. There was no need for a technical foul.
And Mo Walker has also been tossed.
Oh, you'd have liked to have seen the 2 big guys allowed to finish the game there. Just a couple of comments. Referees managed it really, really well. But in the end, the officials unfortunately decided to still give them a technical foul.
I'm so sorry. Ty Nasangu's got to be careful here, because he's still mouthing off to the referees. He's got to go. And he's still talking, and he's really got to watch himself here. Mo Walker's gone. He's talking now. Mo Walker's talking to the Reading fans. Both players have got to leave. That's the bottom line. And the Sangu now will go away as well. He's had a great game, as time to say. He's still talking, though, to the officials, and he's got to watch himself.
Yeah, he needs to just go now. I totally understand his frustration.
Yeah.
It wasn't a needed technical foul, but nonetheless, he has to go once the ejection's been called.
You understand as well. You know, it's a high-stakes game, emotions and everything. You totally understand, but play can now commence. Here is Sally. Borknight. Both Walker and Nasangu have had fantastic games, though. There's no doubt about that. Here is Portman to put the icing on the cake. No good. And Creek and May Thompson going at it. And listen to the roar of the Loddon Valley fans. Reading keep the ball.
Excellent from Cooper Creek to get after that rebound. Excellent job. He's been fantastic at just hustle plays throughout the game.
All the emotion, all the excitement, all the attitude you want in playoff basketball. And now Sally travels with it. Reading fans want a foul. Reading fans on their feet. Ben Fisher, the assistant coach, telling Yusuf Sally to calm down and focus on the next play.
Absolutely. Whether they like the call or not, there's no need to get too frustrated about it. You're 12 points up. There's under a minute to go. See the game out the right way.
An action-packed contest, hasn't it? Almost breathless at times. Here is Smith. Final 35 seconds. Smith lays it up and in. It's a 10-point lead, though. And another technical foul has been called.
Malcolm Smith
it's
just
on
made
Malcolm Smith, yeah.
He made the up and under, felt like there was contact, made a comment to official Dan Coxon.
And he's still talking. And now Malcolm Smith, he now has to be careful. Dan Cox, who's quite a mild-mannered human being at the best of times, keeping his composure, and Charlie Brown just having a quiet word in the referee's ear. Well, it's been an explosive final 2 minutes, hasn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, I think it's heated emotion because you've got such experienced, talented players, as we've said, throughout the game. So you've got very ferocious competitors, because that's why they're at this level, John.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. They both just want to win, and they'll go to any lengths. Olarerin calls for calm as we wind down the final minutes. Smith on Borknight, and a foul has been called, and that'll be, well, Smith is still talking. It'll be his second foul. He's not been thrown out of the game. I think some of the Reading fans believe he has. He hasn't.
No, just got caught hand checking. It was did a good job to stay in front, but referee just felt there was too much in it.
And Borknight will just seal the deal. And the Reading Rockets will have a home playoff semi-final tie against the Milton Keynes Breakers next weekend. It's been a brilliant season for the Derby Trailblazers, but they will have their season ended here in Berkshire. As we wind down the final seconds, Olarerin will bring it over the timeline, and that'll do it. Reading advance to the semi-finals of the BCB playoffs in an exciting but heated quarter-final tie against the Derby Trailblazers, 77-65. Victor Olarerin, 25 points, leading the way. Yusuf Sally with 12 off the bench. Mo Walker had a double-double of 16 points and 12 rebounds. A heated game, emotions ran high, as you would expect in playoff basketball. But Reading get the job done, and now, Charlie, they will meet the Milton Keynes Breakers. It'll be at Rivermead next weekend, but that should be an incredible encounter.
Absolutely, especially after the last time the two teams met. It was such a close game then as well, but just listen to the enjoyment in the arena right now. Everybody in the stands, on their feet, enjoying, celebrating the game with head coach Samit Nurizadeh, and of course the fantastic players that put a great performance on. But I want to give a really quick shout out to Derby. What a performance. And the fourth, the game got away from them a little bit, but if you take out that first 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, they're right in it, and maybe we're even up there as a better team.
And what's great to see is Mo Walker, who's now coming out. Obviously, he was ejected. Mo Walker coming out and shaking hands with the Rockets players and staff. Look, emotions get the better of people. We get it. It's playoff basketball. And as a player, those emotions are going to be sky high. But that's great to see both Ty Nasangu and Mo Walker exchanging handshakes. And look at that, handshakes, hugs, it's all good. And that's what you love to see from two ferocious competitors.
And that's the thing, it's that mutual respect. You've just competed really hard against each other, so you might as well celebrate the great battle that you've both just had.
It was a brilliant contest, as Charlie will head courtside in just a second to get words. As Victor Olarerin collects the Game Day MVP awards. 25 points, he had 3 triples. Great performance from him as he gets his, looks to be a letter of some sort from Game Night MC Bailey Tustin. Reading Rockets, Milton Keynes Breakers at the Rivermead, Newcastle Knights, City of Birmingham Rockets at Newcastle University are your semi-finals, as Rhodes lead to the final in the first weekend of May. As we crown the BCB playoff champions, we have our final 4. As we have a look at some of the highlights of what was an intensely fierce contest between two fiercely competitive sides. You'd never think that was 1v8, would you? With how that game went, it was brilliant to watch. Reading, though, coming away with a 77-65 victory. And Charlie is courtside, and he is with head coach of the Rockets, Samit Nurizadeh.
And I am here joined by the winning head coach, Samit Nurizadeh. Samit, how does it feel? You're in the semi-finals.
Amazing, amazing. We've been a great team. We've been a great team. We played great second half. 15 minutes, we played really good basketball. We started really poor, too many. We forgot what we were doing in scouting, but we played second half a lot better.
Well, I was going to ask you, obviously Derby's such a strong team. They've got Paf Marajar and the likes of Washington. Inside, they've got the likes of Mo Walker, who I thought was fantastic in the first half. So how did you manage them during the game? Because they made it hard for you.
Our second unit actually came on and did a lot better job in terms of offense. We were defending kind of all right, but we've spoken at halftime to defend the inside a lot better, and outside we iced the pick and roll, so it was a lot better. And as I said, there you go.
As a result of your big win, you have a home fixture against the MK Breakers. Right. What do you need from the fans for that game?
As to be as noisy. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. Better turnout for the semi-finals, and a lot more noise. That was amazing.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Excellent win. Stay with us, guys, as we will MVP Victor Olarerin. And Victor, congratulations on an amazing win. I thought Derby made it really tough for you guys. What was it like to play a team with so much veteran experience?
Tough, man, and they picked it up at the second half of the season. It really started to pull out some performances. Mo's been playing outstanding. It's been incredible, man. It was really tough, though.
And how, I mean, we've got the big guy Yusuf Salih next to you right now. What was it like for you guys being able to find that scoring run, especially second half? What was it that just made it start clicking for you both?
I mean, for me personally, it was just stopping for a second, understanding that this could be our last game as a unit. And we didn't expect that coming into the game, so we just made sure that second half, you know what, we're playing with some sort of urgency.
We're going to play every game like it's our last, so we got a couple games more left, and we're going to give it all each and every single game.
Well, your next fixture is now a home game against the MK Breakers. What can the fans expect in a big semi-final?
It's going to be a spicy game. It's going to be a good game. We've got a lot of history with Milton Keynes there. Great team, great organisation. Hey, you lose, you go home. So I'm sure it's going to be a great match for both of us.
And Yusuf, for you finally, give me one message for the fans for their support today.
Keep coming out and support. We're going to win that championship for y'all.
Yeah,
great job, guys. Thank you very much for coming to join me on stream. Guys, that's all from me and from John. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you next week for the semi-final.
To Olerarin the finish, biggest lead. Malcolm Smith loses the ball. Salih to Olerarin the finish, biggest lead of the night. Salih is open, a three, it's good! Yusuf
It's the 14, so they don't have as long to get a shot up.
May Thompson puts it down.
Defense from May Thompson.
Olerarin finds a gap and puts it in, and a foul! Olerarin a three. It's good! Victor Olerarin over two Derby defenders. Shoot. There is Walker, a three. Use Walker when he was double teamed. There is Salih on the pull-up.
And that's what Yusuf Salih.
Washington wide open, a corner three, rattles it in.
From Derby, two in screens.
Here is Portman to Olerarin, sets himself and buries a three at the other end. Portman, Nasangu off the glass, no good, gets his own rebound and sticks it as Salih drives, kicks it out, Chamberlain a three.
Boom! That's a 7-point advantage. Simon Chamberlain.
As Malcolm Smith loses the ball, Salih to Olerarin the finish, biggest lead. Malcolm Smith loses the ball, Salih to Olerarin the finish, biggest lead of the night. Salih is open, a three, it's good! Yusuf
It's the 14, so they don't have as long to get a shot up.
May Thompson puts it down.
Defense from May Thompson.
Olerarin finds a gap and puts it in, and a foul!